Hey everybody, welcome back to Overland, Florida. I'm Kevin, and today is the day. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. I'm going to tell you everywhere to camp on Florida's East Coast. So I'm going to start in the northeast corner of Florida, and I'm going to work the coastline all the way down until we get to the Keys. Like I said, there's not that many spots, and if you're on the intercoastal, there's a lot of spoil islands that you're allowed to camp at. There's no reserving any of them as far as I know. Almost all of them are first come first serve, so you can kayak out there, you can boat, you can paddleboard, you can bring your camping stuff. Most of them have picnic tables and fire rings. If there's no fire rings, you're allowed to have fires there, so just make a fire. But there are they called spoil islands all the way up and down the intercoastal of Florida. So outside of the island camping, let's go ahead and start the list. I am going to have in the description a link to every campground that I'm going to mention. Most of them are going to be state parks, some of them are going to be private campgrounds, and some of them just for whatever reason just don't have a website. I don't know why in 2022 you own a private campground and don't have a website, but I'm going to do my best to give you guys links in the description to everything that I'm going to mention. And like I said, it's pretty sad there's not very many places to actually camp. But first on our list is going to be Fort Clinch State Park, and that is as far northeast as you're going to get in Florida. If you went any further than that, you'd be at Cumberland Island in Georgia, which is also a pretty cool place to camp. You can only get to Cumberland Island by a ferry, a boat, or whatnot. You can't drive there, so everything is going to be packed in and everything's going to be packed out. But like I said, Fort Clinch State Park, really nice campground. There is a fort there that you can take a tour of. You can walk freely. If you go on weekends, they do have people dressed up in the era, and they have museums. They're very knowledgeable, and you can definitely spend an entire afternoon just walking around. And there's also a beach right there, right behind the fort. I can't remember the name of the fort, but there's a beach right there, and it has been known to show a lot of shark's teeth, so you have a chance of finding shark's teeth if you go if you want to walk on that beach by the fort. But the campground itself is not located right on the water. It's not really right on the beach, but you can ride a bicycle, you can walk to the beach from the campground. And there's a lot of deer there, so we were surprised first time we drove through. Just on the main road going in all the way back to the fort, there was deer on the side of the road, there was deer crossing the road, so there's surprisingly a lot of wildlife right there. They're pretty small deer. They're like, you know, Florida dune deer, because there's just a lot of sand dunes from the beach and the wind and everything like that. But that is Fort Clinch State Park. So just south of Fort Clinch State Park is going to be Huguenot Park, and Huguenot Park is probably going to be the #1 spot on the East Coast to give you that beach camping experience. The whole campground is just basically just a big sand dune, sandbar. There's not really much grass, there's not really many trees at all, so it's just a bunch of sand, but there are designated campsites right there. So from your sandy beach side campsite, you can just walk on the beach, you can surf, you can bring a paddleboard, a kayak, or whatnot, and that is as close as you're going to get to beach camping in the state of Florida. During the day, you can actually drive your vehicles on beaches around Huguenot Park. You can set up tents and awnings and stuff like that during the day, but as soon as nighttime comes, they kick everybody off the beach. You got to go back to your campsite if you're going to be camping there. But like I said, it's all sand. Watch out for the no-see-ums, and that's pretty much it. That's a pretty cool place if you want to camp on the beach, especially if you're into like shark fishing or surf fishing or stuff like that. That's a really cool place to go. So if you go south of Huguenot Park, you're going to go all the way to Jacksonville if you're on I-95. Once you get to Jacksonville, if you just drove due east until the map turned blue, you're going to go to Hanna Campground. It's a private campground as far as I can tell, and it's not going to be directly on the beach side, but A1A is going to be the only thing dividing it from the beach. So from your campground, you can just walk across A1A. You're going to be at the beach. You can swim, you know, paddleboard, do whatever you want, walk on the beach or whatnot. But you can't actually camp on the beach. It's actually going to be a little more, I shouldn't say inland, because it's only, you know, a third of a mile till you get to the beach. But there's a lot of trees and stuff like that, so it's going to be a wooded campsite as far as like Huguenot, which is just north of that, which is going to be just all sand. So once you go south of Hanna Park Campground, you're not going to reach any campgrounds or anything like that until you get to St. Augustine, Florida. Once you're in St. Augustine, the #1 place is going to be Anastasia State Park, and it's a really nice state park. There's a lot of trees and shrubs in between the campsites, so you're not right on top of each other. There's fire rings, you know, full amenities and everything, and you are like, man, I want to say like a mile, maybe like 1.5 mile walk or bicycle ride, or just drive there to St. Augustine, Florida, which has a really cool downtown. And St. Augustine, if you didn't know, is actually the oldest city in the state of Florida, which is also the oldest city, I think, in the nation. So there's a lot of history there. There's a fort. They have reenactments and everything like that right at the fort. It's really cool. The best time to go is probably October, November, and December. It's not too cold at nighttime. It keeps all the bugs away. There shouldn't be any no-see-ums. We like to go around November because they do, I think it's called the Night of Lights, where they light up the entire downtown with Christmas lights and stuff like that. They have a festival. They have a parade with all the people dressed, you know, in their reenactment gear and everything like that. A lot of restaurants stay open later. It's just a really cool experience to go. There's just thousands of Christmas lights. They have a trolley tour that goes around, so if you don't want to walk around downtown, you can take a trolley tour. You can get off anytime you want, get back on. They have ghost tours, the whole 9 yards. So that's a pretty cool camping experience right there. Once you're done downtown, you can just drive to your campsite, the state park, and sleep. And it's, even though you're close to St. Augustine, if you go out there, it's a pretty dark area and you can see a lot of stars if you go walk on the beach at nighttime. So it's pretty cool in that aspect. So this next place, which is just south of St. Augustine, isn't necessarily going to be beach camping. I just thought it was really cool. I never knew it existed. Ron passed through one time, stayed there. He's like, hey, we got to go back and camp here. It's called Princess Place Preserve. You're inland, so you're on like a estuary, little river, stream, or whatnot. So you're not really near the beach. You can drive to the beach from this spot, but you are able to camp right on the water. So if you're into fishing, you know, paddleboarding, kayaking, whatnot, you can set up right on the water, and it's pretty cool. It's really grassy fields, you know, some trees, some shade and stuff like that, but it's not a traditional like state park. It's actually really neat inside. So south of that, you're not really going to come to any kind of beach camping until you get to Flagler Beach area, and from there it's going to be Beverly Beach Campground, which is a private campground, and it's more catered to RVs. But this is going to be absolutely as close as you're going to get to beach camping with any kind of RV, tent, van, or whatever your rig is for camping. And you basically just back up that RV till it hits the sand and you set up. So it's pretty cool. I'm not sure about rates. I imagine it's probably pretty pricey, being that it's kind of exclusive and there's no other campground that is like it on Florida's East Coast anyway. So I'll put a link in the description, but this is literally just you're walking out the door of your camper, you're on sand, and you just walk out to the beach. So you're gonna get really good views of the Florida sunrise on the East Coast. Beverly Beach Campground is a really nice one I've stayed at a couple times, Gamble Rogers Memorial State Park. Now, A1A splits this state park right in half. So if you want a campsite that is on the beach, half of it's called beachside. So the East Coast of A1A is gonna be all the beachside campsites. Now, you can't just, it's kind of hard to explain. So you're really close to the beach. You're basically on the beach as close as you're gonna get, but there's gonna be sand dunes in between you and the water. So they're protected by Florida, so you can't just walk from your campsite over the sand dune to the beach. You have to walk around and go to a boardwalk out to the water. It's no big deal. You're talking like, you know, maybe 120 yards of walking around the sand dune. But for a state park, it's really nice, really good amenities, and you can walk on the beach anytime you want. You can go set up chairs and awnings and stuff like that, but you can't drive on the beach or anything like that. You can't sleep on the beach per se. But that's Gamble Rogers Preserve State Park, or Gamble Rogers Memorial State Park, I should say. And the other side, the other campsites are going to be on water, but they're going to be like on the inland. So you're going to be able to experience water from whichever side of the park you camp on. It's just one's going to be oceanside, one's going to be, you know, inland, intercoastal waterway side. So there's going to be really good fishing and stuff like that if that's what you guys are into. So this is where it starts to get depressing. From Flagler Beach area, which is where the last two campgrounds I mentioned were located, it's going to be 118 miles along the coastline until we get to our next campgrounds, which is going to be the Sebastian Inlet area. So just north of the Sebastian Inlet is going to be Long Point Park, which is a private campground, and it's kind of like, it's almost an island, but it's just like a horseshoe shaped right on the intercoastal, and they just fill you guys in campsites along the water. You can camp as close to the edge of the water as you want. It's not beachy or sandy by any means. It's literally just like a grass island and then water. There's no sand. You can bring your own boats. You can bring kayaks and canoes and paddleboards, and you can launch right from your campsite. You can swim from your campsite. You can fish from your campsite. They're pretty laid back in that aspect. It's really big for fishermen and stuff like that want to camp there. But it's a really nice campground. It's really nice grass. There's not too many trees for hammocks and stuff like that. But if you want to camp on the beach or as close to the beach as you're going to get in the state of Florida, and you're near the Sebastian Inlet, Vero Beach area or whatnot, that's pretty much some of your only options is going to be that one and the one I'm about to mention, which is just south of the inlet, which is Sebastian Inlet State Park, which is a really nice state park. This one's not going to be on the beach either. This is going to be inland. The campsites aren't really going to be on the water either. They're going to be across from the water, but you're not going to be able to camp right on the water. And like I said, it's not really going to be a beachy area or anything. There's no sand. The state park itself might have made a little beachy area, but it's just intercoastal inlet. It's just going to be water. It's literally just grass, water. There's, you know, some rocks or something like that, but there's no nice beachy sand area to stick an umbrella and stuff like that. But if you want to leave the park and go out on the other side of A1A, of course, the beach is going to be right there. But from your campsite, you're going to have to walk, bicycle, or take a car. So from Sebastian Inlet area, pretty much all the way south is just going to be all kinds of just big cities. You got Miami and everything like that. But before you get to Miami and Deerfield Beach and everything, you have Palm Beach. And inside Palm Beach, there's an island called Peanut Island. It's a really nice island. They have full amenities, campsites and stuff like that. You can only get there by ferry, by boat, paddleboard, kayak, everything you pack in, obviously you have to pack out. But it is a really cool experience if you want to camp on an island and you're in that part of Florida. You don't want to drive all over Florida. So Peanut Island Campground, I'll put a link in the description. It's pretty nice. There's really not much to say. It's pretty nice, and you have to pack everything in and set up camp and then pack everything out. You're near Palm Beach, so you're going to have a skyline of, you know, condos and lights and stuff like that. You're going to have a lot of people driving their boats past the island, stuff like that, if you just want to go out there and hang out and people watch and stuff like that. Peanut Island is a pretty cool place. Peanut Island is 81 miles south of the last campground. So we had a big stretch of 118 miles until we got to Sebastian Inlet State Park. And then it was another 80 miles south of that before we got to Peanut Island Campground. So unfortunately, Peanut Island is the last place to camp on Florida's East Coast until you get to the Florida Keys. So I'm going to do Florida Keys in a whole nother video because that's going to be quite a few. There's a lot of nice camping over there. If you're able to even get a spot, because a lot of the places accept reservations a year out, and the snowbirds and other people, they like to be the first ones to snatch those up. So it's pretty hard to be a Floridian and camp in the Florida Keys. But if you guys found this video and information valuable, please give this video a thumbs up. Let's bump it up, and I'll make the Keys video, and then I'll make the West Coast side of Florida.